Koro ni. The answer arcs with Reina. So last time we had some honestly hokey pokey friendship love over Reina murdering people, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. As you guys are probably well aware by the anger I perceived by the stupidity of it. And the note that we read was like from the forestry service, and they were gonna have like volunteers, like, and kids. So some sad random kid is gonna come across the bodies that Reina and company buried. All right, so let's get going, shall we? Just gonna make sure my camera is good. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the turning point here, and I'm pretty sure Reina is going to end up going on a murderous rampage. At least that is my hunch. Alright, let's continue. She believed that if she kept laughing, she would be happy. She believed that if she cared about someone, the person would care about her as well. I don't know about that. Am I supposed to click? Leaving the sad memories behind, the girl turned to face tomorrow. Am I supposed to? Oh. Without being spoiled, without relying on anyone, all alone, to carve a path towards the future. Is it talking about Rika? What awaits her? Is it happiness? Is it unhappiness? I'm not actually sure if it's talking about Rika or Reina here. Could be both. Higurashi. I wanted to love someone, but the truth is I wanted to be loved. Okay, so at the... Welcome! Would you like a hot dog? Our shaved ice is the best you ever tasted. You can have it with strawberry syrup, melon syrup, or Hawaiian blue syrup. Try our takoyaki roulette. The winner is packed with a ton of mustard. There are a great many booths at this year's Watanagashi Festival. Anything can become a festival if there are vendors selling food and music for bon dancers, I thought. It's too early for Obon. It's still June, but it's been extremely hot the past few days, almost as if it's already summer. When you have a June festival with bon dance music under this kind of weather, the only thing that's missing to make it a perfect summer festival is fireworks. Bzz, bzz. Oh. This is Kumagai. Oishi, can you hear me? Head over. Who is this? A police guy? I heard a voice coming from my portable radio. With this earphone, it looks like I'm secretly listening to horse races while I'm on duty. This is Oishi. I can hear you loud and clear. The town councilors gave us a lot of food. We have Oden yakisoba, pork belly stew, and some barley tea. Aha! Do you mean the barley tea we can drink on duty, or the one we can't drink on duty? Well... If it's a canned drink, I'll take it. If it's in a cup, don't worry about it. Roger that. Ah, and the members of the town council are here to say hi. We have the mayor and the head of the Sonozaki family, too. What, that old bag Oreo's there? Can you tell her I'm patrolling right now and I don't know when I'll be back? Well, I don't think I can do that for you, sir. She knows you have a portable radio and told me to call you and bring you back here. She looks really mad. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know Oishi had a personal connection to Oreo. Ha! I'm sure it'll be a stroke that kills her. Roger that. Tell her with extreme courtesy I'll be back soon. please. Oh, I guess I gotta go back and mingle with the locals. Wait. All of a sudden, a group of kids came running towards me from behind. After a quick look at them, I noticed they were the granddaughter of the old bag and her friends. Are we Kumagai right now? So that was, if we are, that was the detective that went missing in one of the books. In the third book, when Keiichi did the murders. Mion Sonozaki. When acting her age, she's a cute, normal girl. But I ever hate it when she acts like a member of the Sonozaki family. She'll be the boss of the Okonomiya Yakuza territory in 10 or 20 years. Just you wait and see. And while I was thinking things like that, I noticed that Mion wasn't the one taking leadership of her group this time. It was this boy. That boy. I know him. He just moved here recently. That boy from the Maibara mansion. Keiichi Maibara, was it? I heard the Maibara family's from the city and they're supposedly very rich. But he doesn't flaunt his family wealth, and he has a good reputation because of that. Even though he just moved here, he's already adjusted to his new school, and he's popular with his classmates, too. Everyone in the village seems to like him as well. He's very interesting to watch as a person of many moods. Boys of his age sure have a lot of energy. To be young again. Hey, you're up next, Reina. You're lucky it's your turn. Reina, are you okay? Are you feeling sick? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I have to pass on taking a shot. Oh, she looks so cute. Okay, you should take a break for a bit. So, that would make it my turn, no? Victory shall be mine. It looked like only 4 of them were having a good time. The girl called Reina seemed outside of that circle of smiles. Her name is Reina Ryugu. What was her real name? I couldn't remember, but I could check when I get back to the station. Reina is only a nickname. I believe she moved here a year before Maibara did. Did they already find the bodies and they're, investigating? Is that what's going on, or what? Her mother divorced her father or something like that. She's a strong girl who does all the housework for herself. She's a very modest girl, I'm told, which is rare in this era. Unlike Maibara, it seemed like she hadn't really opened up to her friends just yet. They had looked like a group of 5, but there's distance between her and the others. It's a little sad, you know? I'm not really sure who's talking. I'm guessing it's the cop, which is weird, but okay. Maibara has become a part of the village, but Reina is still by herself. Well, that's just how it looks to me. Bzz. I'm guessing we're Kumagai, who is one of the guys who went missing in the 3rd book. Bzz. Oishi, the chief and section manager are here. Please come back as soon as possible. Roger that. I can't believe the chief came all the way here to say hi to the locals. I guess he's very dedicated to community service, oh? This is Taksugi. Oishi, can you hear me? Do you copy? Over. Yeah, I hear you. I'm on my way back right now. I'll be there in a minute. If I don't hurry, even the chief might end up calling me. I ran back to the headquarters tent. Aha. Yes. Murderous 1 and murdered 1. Whose perspective Detective am I from? Okay, whatever. Oishi, Dr. Iri is here. Oh, thank you very much for coming. So, what do you think, Dr. Iri? Wait, are we at the... We must be at, Man, this is confusing. It's hopping all over the place. We must be at, the murder crime scene now. Camera guy. I keep forgetting his name, I'm sorry. Oishi entered the cordoned off area. I'm sorry. In there, people from forensics were taking pictures of the corpse from various angles. Irie was squatting down next to the dead body of Judo Tomatake. When he stood up, he looked pale. Oh, I like his... Yeah. I can't believe it. I know, I can't believe it either. As far as I can see, he clawed out his own throat. With his bare hands. This isn't a normal way to go. Most likely it was the cause of some drug or something. Are you saying he was a drug addict? Who knows? I guess it's gonna be my job to find that out. Oishi, what's with this 2x4? Maybe he was swinging it around? Then he threw it away and had more fun climbing out his throat, I guess. Why was he swinging a piece of lumber around? He probably did it in self-defense. Did you notice there are several external injuries on his body? Yes, I can see some bruises. The easiest explanation I can think of is he was attacked by someone on his way home from Okonomiya from the festival. He was seized by the culprit, given a shot of some kind of dangerous drug, went crazy and died. I've never heard of any drug that can make people claw up their own throats. I'm not a specialist, but many drug addicts injure themselves when they're in a terminal condition. Well, I'm sure the old man in forensics will take care of the investigation. Excuse me, Oishi. We found a bicycle believed to belong to Jiro Tomatake about 100 meters away from here. That's great. Thanks for the find. Any other clues? Not yet. They're investigating it right now. So that means the place where the bicycle is found was most likely the place he was attacked. And then he ran away from the suspect and ended up here. Oishi frowned, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Maybe we're not in a point of view right now. Maybe it's like when we were in the cafe and it was just went to third person suddenly. It is weird when it does that. Irie was looking at the miserable corpse of Tomatake, and he kept saying the same thing over and over. It's impossible. It's just impossible. Doctor, it happened, so it's possible, okay? Try to think flexibly. Although, I get you don't really see something like this every day despite being a doctor. Anyway, thanks for your cooperation. You can go home now. We called you here for emergency medical care, but it looks like it was a waste of a trip. I'm sorry. Oishi stuck his head out of the blue tent and asks, "Can anyone give him a ride home?" Irie gasped all of a sudden as he turned to Oishi. What about Takano? What happened to Takano-san? What? Oh, your nurse? See, she's a nurse. I told you. Or it said that at some point. I think she was with him. Is she okay? Do you know her phone number? Of course. Kuma, get her phone number from Dr. Iri and make someone at the station call her house. Understood. Doctor, can I have the number? Yes, here it is. Kumagai got the phone number from Irie, repeated it back, and dashed away from the blue tarps. Doctor, Takano and Tomitake were close friends, right? Yes. Have you heard about any troubles between them? No, not even once. They were very close. Well, I hope she's okay. In the worst case, she could be dead or she could be the culprit. See, nurses have access to dangerous drugs. That's exactly what I was thinking. We don't have anything like that in my clinic. Even if we did, we'd be extra careful with them. There's no way Takano could smuggle out a drug from my clinic. But it's easier for nurses to do it than regular people, right? Like I said, I've never heard of a drug like that, and I don't have anything like that in my clinic. Oishi, she isn't at home. The standby unit says they're going to go to her house to check. Doctor, can you give me her address? Kuma, can you also check if the police headquarters have found any unidentified female bodies tonight? Maybe we should check the other prefectures too. Tell the section manager if he can call the headquarters in the nearby prefectures and ask if they have any unidentified female bodies. Yes, sir. Are you saying that Takano might also be dead? Well, I don't know. I don't know if she's dead or she's the culprit. Of course, it's possible she's not involved at all. She might just be getting drunk in a bar somewhere. It's unbelievable. Who does things like this? Well, it's unbelievable to me, too. This fits with the rest of the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's been 5 years now. That would make this the 5th curse of Oyashiro-sama. Damn it. I've got to get whoever is behind it this year for sure. I really want to put an end to these cases before I retire. Oishi hates the curse of Oyashiro-sama. It had been leading him around by the nose for 5 consecutive years. The victim of the first year, the manager of the construction site, was his friend. Oh, I didn't know that. Despite his desire to avenge his friend, the mystery had only deepened, and one case followed another year after year. Oishi would be retiring next March. As a retiree, he'd be able to ask about the progress of the investigation, but he wouldn't be able to take initiative anymore. In other words, this year was his last chance for revenge. Would he have put his head in the lion's mouth to capture the culprit? Oishi quietly clenched his fist. I believe that this maze has an exit. Maze is a very convenient word. A maze always has an exit. You don't call it a maze if it doesn't have one. I'm guessing this is Rika talking. But for now, since we don't know, we'll just keep normal voice. I know I'm on the right path towards the exit of this maze. I used to miss these minor divergences, but I don't miss anything now. I don't make any mistakes. This time I could feel a response that was different than all the other times. I'm sure I can finally get to the exit of this maze. But no matter which path I choose to come to this point, Jiro Tomitake always dies. I'm guessing this is Rika. Which I was saying I would love to have a chapter with a Rika voice because her voice is very fun and cute to do. But like I said, since we don't know for sure, we're not gonna come to that. We're not gonna jump to a conclusion yet. I'm 99% sure that it's true, though. Reina had been sick ever since that day, and she hadn't been able to join in our club activities as often since. Yeah. I still feel feverish. You do, huh? That's a pity. Hey, Reina, why don't you just try and play with us today? I think you'll feel a lot better if you blow off some steam with us. You got this old man's agreement. Do you think so? Do you? Sometimes resting too much is bad for you. They're quite correct. All illnesses come from the mind, don't you know? Everyone had suspected for a while that Reina isn't really sick, at least physically. It's just that many things happened to her at once. She caught a mental cold. That's why I thought she would get better once she played with us, just like we used to. It seemed like Reina was aware of that too. She knew that she had to get out of her state of depression soon. She wanted to get better and she wanted to have fun again. Okay. I'll do it. Great! That's a spirit. Considering the fact Reina is still recovering from her illness, let's play a tabletop game today. Let me see. Mion started rummaging through her locker, humming to herself. She took one game after another from the locker and put them aside. The locker definitely didn't obey the laws of physics. The amount of games she took out of the locker was more than what it could physically hold. Oh, I forgot about this one. Let's try this. Today we'll be playing this detective game. Oh, what's that? Sounds interesting. Well, it's a game where you guess the culprit, the murder weapon, and the scene of the crime. Clue. It's a game where you use your brain. Don't you think that's kind of the wrong game to play when Reina just murdered somebody and that's why she's feeling upset? You'll pick it up as you play. All you need to do is note down the information you have. Oh! In other words, you need to learn the trick of note-taking. This is a game of intelligence for people like myself. The rules don't seem that difficult. In short, it's a game where you sound out the card each player holds in order to try and read its clue. There are plenty of games in different formats where you try to identify something hidden in the least number of steps. This one just happens to be as competitive as one of those. The key to winning the whatever. We usually like to play athletic games so we can run around a lot, but in our club you have to excel both academically and athletically. Alright, this is gonna be great. Let's play. Reina, do you remember how we still haven't decided the winner of the water gun battle? I'm gonna settle it today once and for all. Oh, are you? Then I'm not going to go easy on you. If Reina's getting serious, I'll have to get serious too. Yes, indeed. Since the water gun battle, I've reevaluated Keiichi and Reina. I'm gonna be merciless today. This is getting exciting. This old man's been waiting for everyone to get this fired up. Excellent. Let's do it. Please don't make me actually do it. Please. Are you ready? I did it with a knife in the library. Okay. My turn. Keiichi did it with poison in the hall. Those are very different answers. My turn. Mion did it with a pistol in the lounge. How did I get so many different answers? Ha ha ha. You're holding the pistol, aren't you? You're bluffing. I think I know the suspect and the murder weapon. I've narrowed down the scene of the crime to 2. Oh! You're good, Rika. I've narrowed the suspect to 2, but it's hard to pin down which one it is. I'll give you a tip. There's always a hint in the questions the other players ask you. If you figure it out, you can solve the whole mystery by the order of the cards the others put down on the table. What kind of freaking clue game is this? I see! Damn it! I underestimated the depth of this game. Oh, my notes are just a mess. I can't even read my own handwriting. Once you acquire the skill of note-taking, you have a 70% chance to win this game. I don't know what kind of clue they're playing, but it's definitely not traditional. But even if 70% would be enough to defeat me, I kind of knew I didn't stand a chance when winning this game, but I gradually started picking it up. Mina seemed to be getting her energy back as she played along. It was the right decision to force her to play with us today. While we were in the middle of the game, Chi-sensei came into the classroom. Ma, you look like you're having fun. Anyway, is Ryugu here? Let me guess, or she's here to ask for her. Oh. You have a visitor. Everybody looked puzzled. Parents sometimes show up at school for some reason, but she never calls them visitors. It's rare to have a visitor at school. I wonder who it is. Well, I have to go. You can continue without me. Mina left the classroom at a run. What should we do? Should we wait for her? Well, we don't know how long it's going to take. Mina told us we can continue. So, let's do it. Sneeze. I have a sneeze. Sneezing. Around the entrance, the glaring sun in the cool shade made for a clear contrast. Told ya. An old man who's holding a jacket on his arm was waiting for me. He looked like he was overheating and his tie was limp. Are you Ryugu-san? Reina Ryugu? Ever since Rina called me Reina, I've hated that name more than ever. Because of that, I didn't have a good impression of the man. Yes, that's me. May I ask who you are? My car has air conditioning, so why don't we move this into there? This is like when he talked to Keiichi in the first book. Aren't you hot out here? He ignored my question and started walking towards the car parked in front of the school gate. If he wanted to talk about something normal, he would have used the teacher's office. But he wanted to talk in his car instead. I couldn't help but feel suspicious. Chi-sensei let him see me, though. That meant he wasn't a suspicious individual as far as she was concerned. Who was he? I don't bat, you know. Please, this way. He called out to me while opening the rear door. Is he a policeman? Did the police find out that I killed those two? I felt anxious all of a sudden. Was this what they called a voluntary interview? I didn't want to go in that car, but if I rejected his offer, it would only make me look suspicious. I prepared myself and got in. It was really cool inside the car. A car AC must cost a fortune. Really? At least my father's car doesn't have one. Please let me know if it's too cold. I like keeping it that way.
So what's this about? In retaliation, I ignored his question and got to the point like he did. He pulled a small notebook out of his breast pocket and flipped through it. He picked out a photo from it. The photo showed the face of a goofy-looking man.
Please tell me if there's anything you know about this person.
The man in the picture was expressionless and looked half asleep. Sometimes you can't even recognize your own family members in a photo where they don't have an expression. So there was no way I would recognize a person who wasn't related to me. But anyways, that was a bit of a relief. This had nothing to do with Rena or her partner.
There were scribbles on his shirt, and we found the signatures of students at this school, including yours, Ryugu-san.
Is this Tomitake's, huh? I don't feel his usual carefree unreliableness in this picture at all. From this half-awake, emotionless face.
How about this woman, then?
I knew what he was going to show. Her name is Mio. Mio Takano.
When did you see him last night?
I think it was right after the Onikakushi festival.
Didn't you notice anything strange? Anything? Please tell me.
Did something happen to them?
Yeah! I got it! To tell you the truth, I wasn't sure if it was Reina or Mion.
So you gambled? How risky. It doesn't matter how he won. What matters is that he won.
Oh, Reina. Welcome back. What took you so long? Why the fuck does it? My mouse not click sometimes. Maybe to click on the box. Mia noticed that Reina had returned. She looked exhausted. I have no idea what she talked about with the visitor, but it was obvious it wasn't something fun. Why did he just call Reina? All their signatures are on there, isn't it?
Reina, are you okay? What? What's okay? What? I'm talking about you. You look pale. Are you sure you're all right?
Reina tried to convince us she was fine, but her face clouded over for a moment and decided to leave early. I shouldn't have forced her to join the game. I was regretting it a little. Reina probably forced herself to play with us even though she wasn't feeling well at all. Reina put her stuff in the bag, apologized for leaving early, and left the classroom. Well, she's gone now. I guess we have to keep playing until we have a loser. How can you do that when you know who the killer is? When Keiichi just won. You can't, continue playing once you know who the killer is in Clue.
That's right.
Whose turn is it?
Meep.
All right, Rika. Come on. Whoever wrote this has never played Clue, because you can't continue when one person can't be like, oh, I also know it's a different. No, it doesn't work that way, dude. It doesn't work that way.
First of all, I wasn't very close to Mio. I knew who she was, so I greeted her whenever we happened to pass by. But that was about it. I never really talked to her except for the one time. And that time was only recently. It was between the day of the Watanagashi festival and the day I was caught in the act of burying the 2 corpses by Keiichi and my other friends. I had a phone call from the library that evening, and I was told that my father needed a book to return. He was shopping at the home improvement store at the time, so I went in the library to return the book for him. While I was there, I thought about borrowing some books myself, and I stared started walking around the library. I saw her there. Oh, Reina! Hello! Mio! Hello to you too! I didn't expect to see you here. Really? I was going to say the same thing. I always spend time here and I've never seen you. She smiled in a very attractive and charming way that only mature women can do. Her smile gave no indication that she knew her death was just a few days away. She said that she often met with Tamatake at the library. It seemed like she had some time to kill, so she wanted me to buy a drink. I had nothing to do after that. I let her buy me canned iced milk tea from the vending machine in the library, and we talked for a while. Once I came to think about it, it was a little ironic. She mostly talked about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. She had no idea she was going to be the victim of its 5th year. The series of mysterious deaths? You've heard about it at least once, haven't you? Is that like all this chick talks about to like poor high school kids that get terrified? 4 years ago, the manager of the dam construction site was murdered. 3 years ago, the Hojo couple died. 2 years ago, the Furuta couple. And last year, it was Satoko's aunt. The series of mysterious deaths have been going on for 4 years now. And in a few days, it'll be the 5th. I've heard about it, but you don't know for sure someone will die this year. I do. Someone will die in a few days for sure. There's the old saying, everything that happens twice will happen a 3rd time. So isn't it also true that what happens 4 times will happen a 5th? Well, you only know that because you're the one that does it. Mio was convinced the fifth mysterious death was going to happen, but she didn't know she was going to be the 5th victim. That's ironic and also really creepy. But there was always something creepy about her. So maybe she knew she was going to be killed in a few days, but still managed to make that mysterious smile. You know, her death could be Rika trying to stop her death. I'm very convinced it's Takano. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Of course I know about it. I've lived here for more than a year. Every year on the day of the Watanagashi festival, one traitor to the village dies mysteriously. It's been that way since the dam conflict. And also, unless I know, I don't know. Because we don't know much about the camera guy, but he's definitely not a traitor to the village, so. Each case was solved individually, but the mysterious incidents still happen every year. It makes me wonder if there's some kind of will to all this. The creepiness and incomprehensibility of it all gave rise to the name of Curse of Oyashiro-sama, which fit perfectly. Despite this, I always thought the Curse of Oyashiro-sama was just a series of coincidences. My reason for that is I strongly believe Satoshi was the one who murdered his aunt on the 4th year. I don't have any evidence, but I just know it. I know Satoshi was in a serious predicament last year, and that he had nowhere to turn. He had no one to help him, but he had to save Satoko as soon as he could. Satoshi thought it through and made the best choice he could to handle the situation, just like I did when I had my problem with Irina. I hesitated to inform Mio that Satoshi was the murderer on the 4th year, so I just listened to her for a while. According to her theories, the deaths aren't a set of coincidences, but instead a series of interrelated murder cases. At that point, my theory was completely opposite of hers, but I decided not to cut in.
You know about the cult of Oyashiro-sama here in Hinamizawa, don't you? Once again, why is an old lady, talking about something so horrifying to, a little girl? Does she just, anyone she meets in the library, she's like, oh.
Takano started telling me that Hinamizawa was once called Onikakushi. She also explained the villagers in the old days, showing me the scrapbook she was proud of. The villagers back then were called man-eating demons, but they were always also admired as transcendents, enlightened people not bound by earthly desires. So according to your theory, a group of cultists who worship Oyashiro-sama are living in Hinamizawa, and they're trying to show the power of their god by enacting a series of mysterious deaths, right?
I'm not sure if we can call them cultists or fundamentalists. The line between them is very vague. In the Meiji era, when the name of the village was changed to Hinamizawa, the customs and tradition of onikakushi were brought to an end. I think there are some people who want to revive those traditions and regain the name and awe of onikakushi.
Mio's theory was a little more than crazy, but it was fascinating. At first, her theory had sounded like she was just jumping to conclusions, but after she eagerly showed me the documents she had been studying, I started to think it wasn't too actually far from the truth. If her theory was true, it meant that the accidental deaths of the Hojo couple and the suicide and death by disease of the Furude couple in the 3rd year and the drug addict murderer in the 4th year were all cooked up. It means someone who had a lot of power and influence over the police was involved. When I pointed that out, Mio nodded in agreement and started talking about how strongly they were rooted in the village and how deeply they were involved with many public organizations.
So if we're to believe the last book, the Sonozaki Oryo-san doesn't actually know. That's what she told Shion Neon. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but
After she finished explaining all that, I finally noticed Mian was suggesting that the 3 families, including the Sonozaki, were the masterminds behind the incidents. In fact, the Sonozaki family is really powerful. They hold influence not only over Hinamizawa and Okinomiya, but also over the entire Shibone area. It might not be wrong to say they even hold influence over the entire prefecture. If the Sonozaki family is behind all this, her theory would be more realistic. But that means I should be suspicious of me. No, I shouldn't. But, in fact, Mi was very cold and unkind to Satoshi when he was going through a tough time. I know there was conflict between the Sonozaki family and Hojo, but still, she was very cold to Satoshi. But Mi admitted what she'd done was wrong, and I forgave her. I didn't want to think about that again. I decided to change the subject because I knew it would make me feel uncomfortable if we kept talking about the Sonozaki family. First of all, what's this people's belief in Oyashiro all about? It's a little funny that demon and humans wanted to coexist. In folktales, humans usually try to wipe out the demons.
That's quite true. That's why Oyashiro-sama is so interesting. However, there are actually many stories that say people in old days worship a god that had drifted to our world from the land of the gods. It's the worship of drifted gods, in other words. There are a number of myths all over the world about people worshiping a god who came from beyond the sea or from up a river. The gods in those myths are actually people who came from different countries, right? That's the general theory, yes. Ancient Japanese culture was far behind that of other nations. When Japanese people in those days saw a foreigner from a developed country, they were so impressed by the knowledge the person had that they started worshipping that as a god. That's one theory. I've
heard that Red Oni and Blue Oni were actually foreigners who drifted ashore in Japan because their boats got shipwrecked. The Japanese may have created tango out of foreigners, too. They probably saw a foreigner who had reddish skin with a very long nose. Wow, you're pretty sharp, Reina. I agree. I don't know what this has anything to do with anything, to be perfectly honest, but it's kind of cool. I think most drifted god worships are based on encounters with foreigners. But, if that's so, Onikafuchi's drifted god worship would have a contradiction. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
It's easy. Onikafuchi is adjacent to the sea.
Oh, of course.
In order to have any connection to foreigners, the place in question must have a connection to the outside world, unless they travel, which is impossible to say. In Western country, that connection would be rivers running between adjacent countries. In Japan, that connection would be the ocean, or vehicles / walking / riding a horse. So most of the drifted god stories in Japan originated near the shores. Is there a possibility the foreigner watched a source somewhere else and then traveled to Onikafuchi?
Thank you, Reina. Also, once again, what does this have to do with anything?
Well, the thing about the worship of Oyashiro-sama is, it specifically pinpoints of Onikafuchi swamp as the place where demons first appeared. The swamp isn't connected to any rivers. So how could a foreigner wash up there? Or, they walked to the village and saw a swamp? Whatever. That's why the mystery of Oyashiro-sama is so interesting. How much do you know about the legend of Oyashiro? I just read a picture book about it in school. Once again, why is this lady talking to a 14-year-old girl about that? Dude. I feel like I know a lot, but I actually don't. I just have an extreme fear of the rule not to leave Hinamizawa. After all, my life went wrong after I left. I felt dizzy when I tried to think about it further, so I stopped. When everything went wrong in Ibaraki, I met Oyashiro-sama, and he told me to go back. No. I'll get dizzy. Don't try to remember. Don't try to remember. I can't remember. I got desperate because I felt responsible for the divorce. I just used Oyashiro as an excuse for mental instability and told him I wanted to go back, right? But wait. Oyashiro, he did come to me. No, the colors are too dazzling. I can only remember the vivid color of the pills and the dizziness. That's all you need to know. The demons came out of Onikafuchi swamp and they attacked the villagers.
Oyashiro saw it and came down to save the villagers from the demons by exiling them to hell.
The demons cried and the villagers felt bad for them. They decided to let the demons live in the village with them. Oyashiro was impressed by the kind hearts of the villagers, so he gave human forms to the demons and let them coexist. The blood of the demons blended with that of the villagers as they lived alongside each other. That's exactly what I read in the book. I felt dizzy, like I was going to faint, because I touched the one memory I didn't want to. People say that most myths are based on an event of some sort that happened long ago. What event do you think is the truth behind this myth? Because I was still feeling dizzy, all I could do was tilt my head quizzically. It seemed like Mia was expecting that response, because she smiled, looking satisfied that she successfully made me confused. She took out a scrapbook out of her paper bag. I'll let you borrow this for a while. Thank you, but Don't worry, just read it whenever you have time to kill. I want to know what you think about the things written in this scrapbook. I'd like to know
even if you disagree with me, because you're very sharp. Jiro isn't interested in things like this at all, so I'd appreciate your input. How is Reina sharp?
I had little choice but to take the scrapbook. Apparently, Mio came to the library often, so I figured I could return it to her whenever I came to return my books.
Unless Mio knows how the Hinamizawa syndrome starts, and this is her way of, like, spreading it. That would kind of make sense.
However, the day I returned the scrapbook to Mio, Mio never came.
What's wrong? You don't look good. Are you feeling okay?
I caught a summer cold. I'm still recovering from it. It wasn't the summer cold that was making me feel dizzy. I always get dizzy when I try to remember the time I met Oyashiro-sama in Ibaraki. I mustered all my courage and asked her. My memory of those days in Ibaraki is blurry. I know I met Oyashiro-sama. Nobody believed me, and they told me it was a hallucination. But I thought Mio would listen to me. Mio, can I talk to you about something?
Of course! You listened to me, so it's my turn to listen to you.
Well, it's about Oyashiro-sama. You might laugh at me.
I won't. You didn't laugh at me either. Mio said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me.
Even so, I still hesitated to talk. There was probably nobody but Mio with whom I could talk with something about like this. I gathered my courage again and spoke. I met Oyashiro-sama.
You have?
Yes. I used to live in Hinamizawa until right before I went to elementary school. But my mother got a job in Ibaraki, so we moved. Well, you know what that means, right?
Yes, I do. You broke the rule of Oyashiro-sama, which is to never leave Hinamizawa.
That's right. And then many things happened. My mother divorced my father and my family was broken. I got desperate and did some bad things.
It must have been terrible.
Then what happened? I started hating everything in this world. And I started to feel like everybody who was happy was looking down on me.
Why are you telling this to some random chick you meet and not to your friends?
That's when a mysterious existence started to appear.
You mean Oyashiro?
The first time it came to me was, please don't tell anyone about this. It was when I started injuring myself by cutting my body with a knife. I cut my neck and something very dirty and gross came out with the blood from the wound. It was,
I'm not going to laugh. Go on.
The chill I felt at that time came back to me. I sealed that memory away so I'd never have to remember again. But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes. And back then, there was something in the blood, something crawling. It was countless dark red maggots. They squirmed out from my neck with each drop of blood. But they wanted to stay in my body, so they crawled back in through the cut. I didn't want those creepy things to get back inside my body, so I clawed at my neck to get them out. But it hurt so much. and it only made my hands and neck bloody. I got scared. I was scared because I thought there were that many nasty maggots in my blood vessels. So I cut a blood vessel in my thigh just to see how it looked. I thought I could see better if it was my thigh. Then they oozed out from there too, so many of them.
I understand, Nigu. Please calm down.
No, you don't understand! The maggots come out with my blood, but then they try to get back. It really, really itches.
Please bring a doctor.
No. Don't claw it like that.
Bring me a sedative. Hurry! Hold her down.
Please, kill them. Kill the maggots in my veins. Please, take all the blood out of my body and flush my veins out. There's so many. Why don't you believe me? I'll show you. You'll believe me if you see them, right? I don't want to get any more shots. No.
Calm down. Okay?
Mio sat next to me and held my hands tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality.
So what happened?
Nobody believed me. But then he showed up. Oyashiro-sama came to me. The memory was very vague and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. I met him. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oyashiro was unbelievably vague. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something was moving in my veins, so I wanted to cut my body to make the blood ooze out that I could make sure there were no maggots in there. Usually I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking, but one day I forgot to take the pill, and my consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins, and I felt the urge to look inside. I cut a vein on my wrist. I knew it. A lot of blood and many dusky red maggots came from the wound. I wanted to wash them off before they crawled back inside me, so I put my wrist under water in the bathroom sink and I tried to open the vein. Water, blood, and maggots ran down into the drain. Just like squeezing out pus from a pimple, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. My arms started to feel numb, and I felt cold. But I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all of my blood out of me. And then a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I never experienced anything like it in my life. All of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright, but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. It was warm and gentle. That was Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wound, the maggots started melting and disappeared in front of my eyes. 1 second. That wasn't all. All the maggots that were moving throughout my veins disappeared too. Oyashiro-sama taught me. These maggots were the curse. People of the demon blood can't live outside Hinamizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad, and I feel sorry for you. There's only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer was simple. All I needed to do was go back to Hinamizawa. I unconsciously knew that before I heard it from Oyashiro-sama. People who are born in Hinamizawa must never leave. But I broke his rules, and I left Hinamizawa. That's where my family was broken, and I lost my mind.
If that was the case, then Keiichi would be fine, since he wasn't born there. Right? But yet he died from a high fever.
If I hadn't left Hinamizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. And so I had to go back. Oyashiro-sama also told me this. He could make the maggots, the embodiments of the curse, disappear, but only temporarily because I lived far from Hinamizawa. After a while, the power of Oyashiro would fade away, and the curse would start to eat again at my body. If that happened, the maggots would take over and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Hinamizawa before his power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what he told me. He did. I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Hinamizawa earlier. That's why he put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sin of leaving. Dad, listen. Oyashiro's gonna help us. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa is the place we must live. If we don't, not only me, but you might get cursed too. Let's go back. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry, or his power will fade and my body will be eaten. No. Oyashiro's following me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and keeps telling me. Keeps apologizing for putting his curse on me. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots of Oyashiro-sama? Everyone's trying to fool me. I know they can see them too. No, please stop. I don't want another shot. Are you okay? I was breathing hard, and Mio was holding my shoulders. I could feel the terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. The doctors told me that memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it. And I unconsciously connected that desire to the folktale of Oyashiro-sama I read when I was little. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved things I saw were a hallucination. The doctors asked my father to consider moving to Hinamizawa if possible. Fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So we came back. After we came back, I felt it. I felt in my bones this was the place we should live. And I also felt Oyashiro's blessing.
And then your dad got hooked up with a bad person. Seems legit.
I definitely felt it. I felt the curse starting to break. I was free. After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gogura for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous-looking pills, and I kept taking them. The terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effect of the pills, and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then I changed my name, Reina. The reason my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything icky in my life anymore. That's why I came up with the idea of taking the icky things out. This probably makes more sense in Japanese. After I took the I out of my name, Reina, there was only Re-na left. And that's how Reina was born. I liked that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Reina. Since then, that had been my name. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Reina. My father still calls me Reina, but I don't feel bad as long as it's just my father and my relatives. But then Reina came into my life, and she called me Reina. Because she called me Reina, those colors started flickering again. I should stop. I should forget. The lights were still flickering. I'm sorry. Was I panicking that badly? You were muttering to yourself. I'm glad you calmed down. Judging by Mio's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought. But I probably had those panicked hallucinations several times. If I started screaming and yelling like I once did, they'd take me away to a hospital again for sure. I'm certain I met Oyashiro. I saw the maggots. It's hard to believe, right? Mio smiled, looking a little confused. I couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I created for myself in my hallucinations. I can't believe I can't trust myself. That's the worst feeling of it all. Reina-chan. First of all, you don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. I'm talking about the curse you're afraid of. And the maggots you saw in your blood. According to what Oyashiro-sama said, you're free from them as long as you stay in Hinamizawa, right? Yes, that's what he said. Then you don't have to be scared. You don't have to worry about anything. You're in Hinamizawa right now. Well, this library is in Okinomiya, but it's very close to Hinamizawa. I'm sure it's okay with Oyashiro. You don't feel anything moving in your veins right now, do you? No, I don't. So there's nothing to worry about. You're following Oyashiro-sama's rules. There's nothing you should be scared of. Is there? Right? No. I didn't know. Until then, she was just such a warm-hearted person. I met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me and didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot of the drug I hated. On the other hand, Mio didn't deny my story or the existence of Oyashiro-sama. The people that whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy, but she was actually very kind, I thought. Reina, I believe everything you just told me. Thank you so much. You're the first one to ever say that to me. So are you. You're the first who didn't laugh at me and listen to me so seriously. I think we can be good friends. Mio smiled, touching my head with hers.
Well, I'll let you borrow my secret files and my scrapbooks. These are top secret.
I didn't want to show these to anybody, but you're special. I think I can trust you.
I know you'll take them seriously.
She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me.
Let me know what you think after you read them.
There might be
something in them only you can understand.
Mia was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret.
Don't tell anyone about these scrapbooks or that I'm studying this, okay?
We're keeping this a secret? Okay, I got it.
If they find out I've been studying this, they might get rid of me.
She laughed after she said that. They might erase her? That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks, but that's not all there is to it. It's the way Tomatake died. Oishi said he committed suicide because of an state of excitation caused by using some kind of drug, but I know what really happened. I didn't tell Oishi about it. I don't think he'd have believed me even if I told him. Without a doubt, Tomatake died trying to get rid of the maggots. It was nothing other than the curse of Oyashiro. To never leave Hinamizawa isn't the only rule. There are more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Oishi told me. Tomatake was taking pictures with his camera flash on during the sacred ritual dance, and some people got mad at him for it.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Did Oyashiro put a curse on Tomatake because he violated the sacred ritual dance? It might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse without a doubt. Does that mean Oyashiro put his curse on Mio too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Mio told me they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in conspiracy to revive the faith of Oyashiro-sama. But I can tell by the way Tomatake died that it was the act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced it myself. At first glance, that seemed incompatible with these conspiracy theories about humans. I remember Oishi told me something about a kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. So do the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse of Oyashiro-sama? That's impossible! Plus, I didn't get any shots of a suspicious drug like that. I had a normal life in Ibaraki. I wasn't involved with the Somazaki family or the Kimiyoshi family. Oishi asked me for a favor. He asked me to tell him secretly if I saw or heard anything suspicious. It could be about me, Rika, and anybody in the village. Mio believed my story about Oyashiro-sama. Now she's gone. Tomatake died by doing the same thing I did. Oh, no. I don't want to get involved with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Is this conspiracy of a group of fanatical cult members? Or is this a curse? Is everything just a set of coincidences? Or maybe it's a mixture of conspiracy and curse. I don't know. Is it the work of humans, the curse, or a coincidence? No. Even the light of the sunset was making me feel dizzy. When did the sunlight in Hinamizawa get so mean? Mio told me to keep her investigation secret. I have her top secret scrapbooks. They might hold the truth about everything. When I realized that, I got scared all of a sudden. I might end up the same way as Mio because I have her scrapbooks. If it's a conspiracy, I'll be erased. If it's the curse, I'll be cursed. I should burn them. That's the safest thing to do. But Mio believed my story. Mio listened to me without laughing. I feel wrong to burn them without taking a look. If it's a conspiracy, I have to expose it. If it's the curse, I have to break it. I shouldn't run. I should fight. That's right. I decided to fight to seize my happiness. I shouldn't give in to misfortunes. I have to fight. I'm going to get rid of all the things that are trying to ruin my peaceful life. Told ya. I'm going to read her scrapbooks when I get home. I started walking faster. Is she going to kill like me and Rika? Alright, and that is the chapter for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo!